Okay. Jesus. Hi, my name is Turtle. Welcome to my channel. Thank you for clicking on it and I hope you enjoy. We are going to be doing our 2025 book tag and we're basically just going to go through some questions that I kind of took from, I think it's Larry. I really love her content and I kind of just figured why not, and I have to put myself out there somehow, so here we go. And we're just gonna go basically off the list that she has in her 2025 tag. And yeah, so we'll start with number 1. How many books do you plan on reading in 2025? I plan on reading 100 books, and I'm leaving that as open-ended as possible. I think if I turn it into a challenge, too much of a challenge, I won't enjoy reading it at all. So I'm just going to read, and if I hit 100, that's dope. If I don't, that's also dope, I guess. But I think 100 is pretty solid. The next question is a book you're likely to reread this year, and I kind of did this as a series. So I want to reread the Mortal Instruments series. And I know what you're thinking, like if you've read the series, especially as an adult, this is very problematic. But as you can see, this is an old, like well-loved book, and it's because this is my book from middle school. And let me tell you that this is the book that changed my life in middle school, or the series, honestly. Like, genuinely, I've been flying death turtle or turtle related things because of this series. There was a section or a little blurb in the last book, and they were like in a cave and they were like, oh look, it's a flying death turtle, and I was like, oh my god, me. So that has been my online alias ever since. I am interested in diving back into her world and how awkward and weird this book is, and if you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. You know, it's very polarizing to some people. And the next book, a priority read on my 2025. There are quite a few, actually. And I'm gonna be honest that like all of these books right down here are gonna be technically on my priority read. I'm very much a mood reader, so I don't want to like dead set anything in particular. I will say that I have a lot of friends who want me to read the Throne of Glass series. I am going to hopefully be vlogging it because I think it's so fun to look back at my comments while reading a book, and it gives me time to reflect on each book that I'm reading instead of just zooming past it and then never thinking about it again. So yeah, we're gonna be doing that. I will say if I have to actually pick anything else up here, I really want a book that makes me cry, so I also want to read this. And I started reading it on my Kindle and I got devastated by something else that wasn't even related to this book because I think I only got a few chapters in, but I definitely want to read this and I want to get my tears all over it. I want to feel heartbroken. I just want a good cry. So we'll be doing that. But yeah, there's also like From Blood and Ash and a bunch of other series and stuff too, but I'm getting ahead of myself. Question number 4. An author you won't be reading from more books from this year. I don't think I have one, honestly. I think I'm too early in my book journey to really cut out anyone in particular. That was easy, I guess. So moving on to number 5. Something new you want to read. New genres or tropes. I'm gonna say like regular fantasy, meaning not necessarily romantasy. I think that romantasy is so much fun, and so I like how lighthearted it can be and it's not super heavy of a read. I just want to try a little more heavy world building to see how I like it. I think that it could be really fun. And as you can see, I'm trying to prioritize my physical TBR, but you know, it's just way more fun to go out and buy a book or avoid your TBR and just look at the pretty books whenever you want, you know? But anyway, we'll go on to number 6, a popular story you want to read. I will say Funny Story by Emily Henry. I think that I've enjoyed a good bit of Emily Henry's books that I've read. My most favorite so far has been Happy Place, and it just felt very personal and I connected a lot with the characters in that book. And I'm very curious to read Funny Story. I heard some people like it and some people not so much like it, and then I heard some people said that they thought it was hilarious and that they loved it. So I'm very interested to be picking this up. I also want to read Phantasma and From Blood and Ash. I have heard crazy things, not necessarily crazy things. I've heard very polarizing things about From Blood and Ash, but I am absolutely intrigued and I think it's going to be a fun time for me, personally. No one else has to agree or not, and I can make my own opinions, so nah. I will also say that Hawk Hates You, I've been following them since Vine, and they love this book, so I'm so happy to give it a shot, and I'm very excited to see what the hype is about. I'm also really wanting to read Phantasma. I've heard great things. It seems like a very fun time. I love the cover. I also go into everything blind, so I'll preface that also. So I remember briefly what things are about, but not a lot. So, whatever. Alright, next up. Number 7. Most anticipated 2025 book release. So I hope that this is a set in stone deadline or a published date for this, because I read this book and I've been thinking about it so much because it was one of my first like adventure stories that I read as an adult that I absolutely like could not stop thinking about, and I loved the building and the relationships between all the characters were just so fun. But The Adventures of Amina El-Sarafi by Shannon Chakraborty. Oh my gosh, that made me feel so sad. I'm so sorry. I'm horrible at names. But this author also wrote the Davabond series. The Davabond? Davabad trilogy? Davabad? They also wrote another popular series, and I want to read that. That is also on my TBR, but this is my first book that I read by them, and I ate this up. I usually don't like story books, and I just thought this was so interesting, and the mythology in it is just captivating. Loved it. Loved it, loved it, loved it. Number 8. A bookish goal for 2025. For 2025, I would like to consistently post on the internet. I want to post bookish content on my Instagram and here on YouTube. I love YouTube, and if you scroll down, you can see YouTube videos I made when I was 15 and obsessed with playing video games, which I still am and I still love. And I would love to bring that into my books, like into the world of books also. I have so many fun ideas that I want to start getting into. So if you like books, if you like manga, because I also have an entire shelf of manga, if you like video games, then here's the place for you. Yeah? Da-da. Da-da. Alright, number 9. A book that's been on your TBR you probably won't ever read. So, riddle me this. 4 or maybe 5 years ago, I was thrifting at the bins at Goodwill, and I find a collection, like someone's collection of beautiful Stephen King books with some of them having the first edition covers on them. And then I find this guy. This guy is also Stephen King. This is Desperation. It's a collection of short stories, and they do look and sound scary. The dust jacket is gorgeous. I wish I had any care in the world to read short stories. I don't know why, but I just don't like collections of short stories. Like, part of the reason I love to read is because I want to be fully immersed into someone else's life. I don't want it to end quickly. Like, I want to be there, and I want to be slightly devastated after I finish reading the book that I'm never going to be in that place again, unless it's a series, but I'm never going to be in that place again, and that's just not what short stories do for me. And also, look at how big this is, and it has so many short stories in it. Alright, I stand by everything I just said, but I'm just now realizing that this is not a collection of short stories. Don't listen to me anymore, actually, that's embarrassing. So this is not a short story, a collection of short stories. That's okay. Technically, this still fits on the book that's been on your TBR that you probably won't ever read. For one, this is an intimidating large book, and now that I'm shifting gears, give me a second, because I still stand by everything I said about short stories. I prefer my stories long and devastating, but this does feel heavy. I don't think I'm gonna read it anytime soon, but there might be someone in me, somewhere in me, that wants to be scared for 676 pages. That's not actually as bad as I thought. And the pages looked like they're easy to read. Look at me convincing myself to read this book. I'm not gonna read this book this year. And I know that for a fact, because there's also so much other stuff that I want to read that I feel like I'll enjoy better. This I'm not gonna get rid of because it's a dope cover, and I think it's cool. Will I read this eventually? It's a possibility. I'm not gonna give it any type of like probability, but I'm gonna just say it's possible that I will read this book. But I'm probably never going to. Because for this whole time I thought this was a collection of short stories, and I knew for a fact I wasn't gonna read it if it was a collection of short stories, and now I'm confused because I don't know whether I'm gonna read this or not, because this is now a story about a desert, apparently, in Nevada. If anyone has read this before, please, for the love of life, tell me if this is something I should read and reconsider my opinions on, because I feel like I've been lying to myself for way too long. Anyway, we're moving on. It's such a long tangent over something that doesn't even matter. There wasn't a delay for you, but there was for me because my camera died, and I didn't realize that I didn't charge the battery at all. So, don't look at my feet, thank you. Yeah. Anyway, back to your regularly scheduled program. We're on number 10, I think. If not, oh well. A series you want to read this year. I dropped all the books. Series you want to read this year. Starting with the one I already talked about, A Throne of Glass. If it wasn't for people wanting to read this with me, I don't know if I would give a shit to read it. But I hear great things, and everyone loves it, and it's very popular, so I like to form my own opinions, and we'll find out. Like I said, I'll probably do a reading vlog, and you'll get to see how I feels is, because Red Akatar, and let's just say there's a video coming out about it. Neither good nor bad, let's just say that. Next up on the list is the Bloodsworn trilogy by John Gwynne. I want to read the shit out of this. Hot Viking, no, I'm just kidding. It's apparently has an incredible female main character, and it's just supposed to be so good. I've been told that his fight scenes are amazing, and like the action in this is incredible, and this kind of goes towards the wanting to read more fantasy that's actual fantasy, so I'm very, very, very excited to read about this. And I think the third book just came out this year, and I'm so excited that I get to just binge the frick out of this series. Other one I'm gonna say, which is very polarizing, and I don't know if people actually, it's not surprising if you know me at all, but I want to read Zodiac Academy. I read the first one, and I had gotten it for free on Libby, the audiobook. So I 2x speed that audiobook just to like fuck around and find out, and I ate it up. I think it was very fun. I think that I want to read. I'm going to read it, and I'm going to binge the entire series because that sounds incredible. So yeah, so I want to read Zodiac Academy this year very much, and I just like those type of books. Like, if it's a horrible, if people say like, oh, it's like a CW show, let me stop you right there. You already sold the book to me. Because yes, is the writing going to be, am I reading like something that would be up for awards, like literary awards? Probably not, but I'm gonna have a great time. Just like Vampire Diaries was a great time, True Blood was a great time. Like, I'm here for a good time. All right, your auto-buy authors going into 2025. I think Ali Hazelwood has another book coming out this year called like Deep End or something, and it's about divers. I love Ali Hazelwood. She actually got me back into reading after years of not. So I love that. The Love Hypothesis, like, it sparked something in me that made me want to join Book Talk and just get obsessed with literature again. And R.F. Kuang. R.F. Kuang's supposed to be coming out with another book, and I don't remember the name of it off the top of my head, but just the cover itself completely intrigues me, and I don't know if I read what the book is about at all, but I'm very excited, and I love all of the conversations that her books have gotten me into, as far as like discussing them with people online, and like just like the undertones of all of I just love it. I just love that there's so many ways to not only interpret, but ways to reflect on your own life through, or your own life, or like life in general through like fiction and fantastical books. And I think it's very, 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 very interesting, and I am definitely going to be reading more of her. I've never actually read the Poppy War series, and that's probably another series that I have really high on my list that I want to read. And I heard that devastates people and breaks people, and I am very excited for that. So that's another hindsight adding on that. 12, a book to show adaptation you're excited about this year. I don't keep up with that at all. I'm gonna be really honest. I don't know. I'm personally not like a TV show girly, and if you have recommendations, or if you are excited about something, I would love to hear about it, because I do have a good time when I actually start watching a series. I started watching Squid Games again when season 2 came out recently, and I ate it up, and I forgot how fun it is to watch something and like go through it. And a YouTuber or a booktuber I love to watch talks about K-dramas a lot, and I used to be so into K-dramas, and I loved it, and it just fell off. So I am 100% here for recommendations. If you have them, give them to me. Right, number 13, a sequel you're anticipating. I said it once, I'm gonna say it again, and this is the only one I can think about right now. I finished this book months ago, and I still think about it. Every time I see it on my shelf, it makes me smile. I also am not in the middle of many series that are not complete. So I guess if you want to say, like, if it's a sequel I'm anticipating how much I'm gonna like the next Zodiac Academy book, which is the second one. Yeah, that's pretty much all I've got. Number 14, bookish things you're leaving. Bookish things you're leaving in 2024. Bookish things I'm leaving in 2024 is never DNFing. I'm just gonna stop reading. If I'm not having a good time and I really don't care how the book ends at the end of the day, it's fine. I don't need to continue it. I don't want to. I've already DNF'd like 2 books, and it's the 16th of January. And the world didn't end. and I felt like the world would end if I didn't finish the book. I'm like, well, what if I like the ending? Okay, but you didn't like the first half of the book. So you didn't have a great time through and through. And that's perfectly fine. Different strokes for different folks. That's it. You're good. It's okay. And I'm saying that more to me because I have an incredible problem with that. I would also say, like, I'm leaving quickly giving reviews to books. I just want to be a lot more thoughtful on the reviews that I'm giving. And on that, I will say, like, I need to also leave reading other people's reviews before reading a book. I always do that. I always look at the star rating on a book, and that's what dictates my feelings towards the whole book for some reason. And I don't know why. It's just kind of like innately my thought process when reading, and I'm just gonna get over it. I'm gonna stop doing it. Number 15, what to expect from this account. Well, this account, as you can tell, is one brain cell fighting, or like maybe 4 brain cells fighting for to be in front. This account is going to be what I don't know, actually. I'm kind of going with the flow and just seeing what happens. I think that I am just going to have a good time, and I hope you have a good time with me. I am gonna have book content. I am gonna have manga content. I might have video game content, which more or less will be themed around books, but we'll see how that goes. I like TBR videos, I like reviews, I like what I read in a month, I like the physical TBR games that people play. I want to do stuff like that. I think that would be really fun and help me be a lot more reflective and articulate about what I thought about these series and books that I'm getting into. So that is kind of where I think this channel is going to go. I also just hear so many people talk about the community they built through posting videos online and silly goofy videos and finding people who have similar interests. So that's definitely something I want to do. I want to find friends that I can share this with, because in my everyday life I don't think I have a single friend that reads books regularly. Okay, on to the next. Number 16. How has your reading taste evolved from the last year? I feel like I've definitely opened up a lot. In the last year, I was mostly sticking toward what I thought was safe, which is like, I know that I like dark romances off the bat. Like, I used to be a Wattpad kid, and I would read the most unhinged, wild things on Wattpad. And then, same with Tumblr and all those crazy stories. And then I also would stay with just lighthearted romance as well. Through Book Talk specifically, I learned about a lot of different genres and a lot of different storylines that I thought would be really interesting, and I actually really thoroughly enjoyed them. And it has gotten me out of my shell a bit as far as what I'm willing to read. There are still some like hard no's, and I'm trying to keep that keep that with me. Like, I don't have to say yes to everything, because if I don't think I'm gonna like it, there's probably a reason behind that, and I'm willing to try, but it's okay to not like it or not want to continue trying. So I feel like I learned a lot about my taste, and my taste definitely did evolve. And then last question, booktubers or content creators who inspire you. I've got 3 main ones that I think about often. It's Larry. She is all over my YouTube all the time, and I love her. Like, she's so happy, and she's so energetic, I will say, and I love that, and I think it's so fun. And she definitely has cultivated a very positive community with her around her, and I think that's amazing. And her content is consistently like entertaining. And there's also the Peruse Project, who has gotten me a lot more into like wanting to read deeper fictions or deeper heavier world building and more high fantasy things. But Peruse Project, love her. She is so cute. I love her aesthetic. I love her videos. I love how she articulates all of her thoughts. I love how, like, put together she seems, and she's just so cute. Like, I thrive to have a friend like her one day. And she loves puzzles, and girl, I love puzzles. I love puzzles. And then last on my list, and definitely not least, is Heather McLary. She is so cute. I love her videos. I love how quirky she is, and I mean that in the best way. But her videos are just so fun to watch. Like, they are so cute, and I love her style. And she just, like, is very human, and I love that. And I love that I can connect with that, and I love her thoughts on videos, and I love her reactions to things. It's just awesome, and I'm so excited I get to, like, watch that, consume that content, and it makes me very grateful. But yeah, it is getting so dark. Like, it is pitch black in this room, if I'm sure you couldn't tell. You want to come up here? Come up here, fat baby. Do you want to end the video with me? No? Okay. Well, I guess that means that the book tag is over. Those last 3 people I am going to tag down below. So if you don't know who they are, oh my gosh, I recommend them so wholeheartedly. And if you have any recommendations on booktubers you think I would like, definitely add them down below. I am so excited, and I want to learn so much more about booktube, and I want to know who all everyone is following. But in the meantime, I hope you enjoyed this video, and this is my baby boy Calvin. He's a fat baby. I love him so much. And we just want to say thank you so much for watching, and we'll talk to you later. Say bye.